soon as it kicks in. All right, what up, world? It's your boy, Kamikaze. I am joined by my brother from another motherfucking black metal gamer. What the fuck's good, man? How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. So, now, me and you, we played The Last of Us too. Unlike a lot of folks who are throwing a lot of blind hate towards it, or really just cutting up their discs or whatever's happening, people feel a certain way about this game. And I feel that a lot of people are giving a lot of blind hate to it. So I made a 30-minute plus video about this. So I want, you know what? The floor is yours, dude. Like, go off, man. Like, from what did you feel like from beginning to end? How did you feel about this game, man? Like, what were your overall thoughts and values and opinions on it?
Overall, I thought the game was incredible, man. Like that gameplay was on point,
Yeah,
addictive, fun, satisfying. I love stealth when it's implemented correctly.
right.
And when you put that shit on hard mode, those enemies are smart. They will see you if you're on the grass. I tweaked around with like the easier modes, they're retarded. Like on medium or lower, like you can kind of be like literally in front of them, Far Cry style. You're ducked down, they won't notice shit. But if you up and up the difficulty, the harder survivor, they'll still see you, and you got to be on your toes. So I'm gonna replay it on the hardest mode and turn off detective vision. At least try it to raise the tension.
Yeah. So how did you feel about the story, man? Did you like? All right, so I pretty much stated my piece about it, and we've spoken about it. But I mean, did you feel? How did you feel about just the story in general?
Um, I can understand why others were bothered by the end. I thought it was a waste of time. It was all for nothing and unsatisfying. But looking back in hindsight and really thinking about it, it was kind of like a hidden morale. Like the lesson of the story is when you give in to just full on hatred or revenge, nothing pays off in the end. You know what I mean? Look what Joel did in the first game by killing the doctors in that hospital. He could have saved the world. He chose to let Ellie live because he was missing that father daughter connection. So he's kind of being selfish in a way. And him doing that, him being, he was taking revenge basically because he was supposed to drop off Ellie. Instead, he didn't want to go with that. So when they took her to the hospital, he wanted revenge and took it out on the whole hospital, killed everybody, and took her for himself. So in a way, I feel that revenge carried on, like the cycle, it carried on to another new character that we can discuss in a minute.
Right, right.
Um, I feel his death should have waited a little longer. It was too quick. It could have waited like maybe 3, 4 hours later. I felt it should have the climax middle part of the game, not like literally prologue, chapter one of the game. That's what it felt like. But I understand though, because it made the drive for the revenge plot for Ellie.
No, I agree. Yeah, like, and I said before, man. I feel like I don't know if I felt like, and me and you talked about this, but I feel like Joel getting axed off the way he did, bro. Like it felt it didn't sit right with me. But I feel
Mm-mm.
like the way that you explained it to me, which I think that actually made me understand it even more, was like, this is a dog eat dog world. This is a zombie apocalypse. Anybody can get it. Whenever it's your time, it's your fucking time, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of fucking sense. But like, when you take this main character, like, I just feel like there could have been like final words from him, something. I do feel that Joel just being taken out for the narrative, like, it was and I think we both agree on that. It was definitely rushed. It was it just, I don't know the best way I can put it, and I can't put it into profound words, but I just feel like it didn't sit right with me.
Hold on. He cut out. What the hell happened? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You cut out for a sec.
But my whole point was just that I feel like, yeah, same way that you just kind of pretty much broke it down. I just felt like Joel's death was, it was taken away. His life was taken away in context for this story, and it was done rather quickly. And to take this character's whole whatever, it didn't sit right with me. You
Can
good?
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me.
Yeah, dude, my phone keeps doing this stupid fucking thing where it keeps wanting to auto connect my Wi-Fi. I have unlimited data, and I cannot figure out how to turn that auto connect off. Even though I turn it off, it'll occasionally do that. That's what happened.
All right.
Proceed. Go again.
But no, it was just all about Joel's death, man. It was kind of like it was kind of undercut, and I feel like it could have been something. I don't know, like it felt cheated. Like it felt like we took this character, like he's pretty much the premise of this game, and we lost this character almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Born Distracted joins us? Is it possible the story changed during development? Well, that's kind of the controversy. We'll kind of speak on more of that. Actually, we can speak about that now that you're bringing it up. So, a lot of people are saying that Joel was all in the trailers, that he was shown to be there during Ellie's side during all of this stuff, that like it was kind of like the Fireflies, I guess, who came back and they, did something, but like Joel and her like were trying to argue about what's right during revenge. You follow me. You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you feel like that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of? Do you feel like that was kind of like that's what took place?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, overall, even if that was the case, like I guess the fact that people are arguing that like this game cheated people, like it told you this was what the game was going to be, but the game really honestly didn't tell you a damn thing. It showed you some cutscenes. I don't know if I find that misleading. I kind of do, but like at the same time, I was like, it's The Last of Us 2. Like I'm kind of on board for whatever they personally throw at me. How did you feel about it?
What- How I feel about what again? Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments.
Like, how did you feel about like just the Joel possibly being the like the Tommy in the game or the Jesse in the game, who the guy who was riding along with this entire adventure, but they took him out
Oh,
for the
okay.
sake of adventure ho. They took them out for certain what said like they just changed the whole narrative of the story. Like they actually misled people, and like that's not actually the case. Like people bought the game expecting to be able to play as Joel and Joel being there in the
Oh,
game, but he's absent.
I heard one of the writers. I forgot who it was. I was just listening to another spoiler cast. One of the people involved in this game were highly inspired and big fans of Metal Gear Solid 2. They wanted to trick the player, kind of like how people were pissed that you weren't Snake, you were Raiden. They wanted the same kind of shit for
I mean,
this
that's a good
game.
comparison. I mean, because it kind of. I mean, well, this was gonna be Ellie's story. I think,
But they
regardless.
wanted you to still go back to Ellie, unlike the other game where you were just Raiden and never went back to Snake.
Mm,
So unlike Metal Gear Solid 2, they fixed that where you go back to the main protagonist.
true. So, all right. So let's dive into one of the biggest controversies about the game: the ending. Okay. So I mean, you said you bought it digitally. I bought it physically because I'm a retard. Whatever. I still got a part of me that wants to buy my shit physically when it's a game that I feel like it means something to me, and this one kind of means something to me regardless. On the back of the box, though, it does say this is a tale of revenge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel
Exactly.
like this is a tale of revenge, though. I feel this is a
I
tale of
feel like
letting
it's
go.
I feel like it's revenge and redemption.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because if you notice, after Abby killed Joel, you start seeing her soften up a bit. She's not so angry like when you first see her. You see her side, and then she has kindness in her heart, especially when she's torn between the love triangle with Mel and Owen, and Mel calls her a piece of shit, always has been. She was sad by it, and she saved those Scar kids. So I felt like she needed to do some good to make her I
like
don't know, to make her feel better.
to ease her conscience, because I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like after what she did to Joel, like that started to set in on her. And let's go ahead and put it out there for anybody who hasn't played this game. Like, there's not a transsexual in this game. Okay, Abby is buff, and they clearly describe why she has the appearance that she does. Okay,
She was mocapped by a female bodybuilder.
like she lost her father. Okay, and she was not able to stop that. Um, and the way I perceive it is that she trained. All right, if you give me a minute, so basically, she trained hard as hell every day. She wanted to be
Yeah.
strong and be able to, if a situation ever arises in her life, that she would be able to take it head on. And even that's a reason her and Owen, which were a thing in the beginning of the game, that's kind of the reason of their separation, is because she wouldn't let go. She wanted to train every day. She's like, no, I gotta go back to base. I gotta get strong. I gotta get better. I gotta do this. So, like, she's not a transsexual in any means of the fucking thing. She's a chick who got really strong and buff and she got them guns by her past experiences. Like, that's what drove her to be to her personal peak fitness. That's the way
Yeah,
I took it.
Yeah, she's basically going into like Olympics mode, but military mode. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
dedicated.
Yeah.
Like every free moment of time training at the gym, which was at her compound, which she's part of the Wolf Liberation Front, a militia or a military group. They're very war trained. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
She reminds me of a female Chris Redfield in many ways.
Yeah, well, that's a really good comparison between Ellie and like Abby in the gameplay style, because Abby was like it. You know what? That's really good, because I did feel like Abby would be like more of a Chris Redfield, and Ellie would be more of like a Leon campaign. I don't know. I hope that.
or Claire.
Well, yeah, Claire. That makes a lot of sense. But like, I know we're dodging all around this shit, but I want to say. I do want to skip to one good part just so we can talk about it, because this is one of my favorite parts of the game is the hospital scene.
Oh yeah, that was straight Resident Evil, dude. That whole segment.
It absolutely was. Like, you use a
That
fucking
Rat King
flame.
boss.
Yeah, you fucking use a flamethrower. Like, this is supposed to be like, I think more in the realm of reality versus a Resident Evil. Resident Evil is a little bit like jumping the shark a little bit more than what it actually is. But when it comes to like this shit, like, it's supposed to be like, I think in my brain, the way I perceive the last of it, it's a little bit more, down to earth. But when you're using a flamethrower against this motherfucker, you fight all this crazy affected jumping out of the walls. That shit was like it. I enjoyed that part, even though it was a little bit out of character for the game. I thoroughly and fucking enjoyed it.
I welcome it, dude, because let's get real. If you're playing Manhunt with a little horror spin with a few selected zombies, you're playing essentially the first game. I wanted epic set pieces. This is Naughty Dog. They took it to the next level, and they didn't do it overboard. You weren't fighting like, oh, this is my final form, where he's like the size of a fucking like a tower. You know what I mean? Like outside.
Yeah, you gotta shoot him in the eyeball. It's like 14 stories high. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So overall, story in general, like me personally, I'll say, again, I'll reiterate, I've done a long video about this, but like, I feel I like the story. It's not groundbreaking. I don't think it was ever meant to be, but it's intriguing. It's interesting, regardless of how I feel about certain parts of it. I hope that will reflect what I'm saying. That I think that it's so well acted. There's a couple of like cringe moments, but like every part of the cutscenes to the dialogue. I mean, even though some of them can be cringe.
I think the good outweighs the bads. The worst part is the way they paced Joel's death too quick, and then a few of like the flashbacks were kind of making the game slower. But that's just little gripes. It's good to know backstory and lore. It's very important, especially seeing like Joel bond better with Ellie. You see him soften more up, which is also why I think that was another theory of why he just got fooled. He was just too kind. He had a new peaceful life in the city and got accustomed to it. Right. So he's like, I'll help anybody. And he was, he'd recruit people and let them in. So I think he had way more faith in humanity before, You know, like how he was in the first game, a very bitter, angry man that
Absolutely. You know
didn't
what?
like Ellie.
That's fantastic. I was about to applaud, but I didn't want to like cut you off because Joel before was like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't talk to nobody. It's me and me only. I take care of myself. Ellie definitely softened him up, man. Definitely softened him up
Oh
because the thing
yeah,
was before, because when he rescued Abby, when Abby was brought into the story, he wasn't like that. He was like, I don't know you. Fuck you. You can fucking die. He definitely was softened up, and I feel like that was kind of part of his demise. And maybe you can even argue the
you
point
know
that
why?
like
He got his revenge out of his system and saved what he loved. So he was living the path of redemption.
that's
Redemption softens you up.
Word. That's actually, you know what? That's a great fucking point. I didn't think about that, but I like that. I like that a lot. Um,
Yeah, this is a game where like you could jump and just have like an instant conclusion of the story the first time, but it's one of those games where it's kind of good to reflect and think back or play it again. You'll notice some things.
or even having a conversation like we're having, like right now, like you're bringing up points like I didn't even fucking think of, but like that's a good thought process. Like I didn't even think about that. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I think he felt like he doesn't want to feel the feeling of anger and hate and regret anymore. So even if there is the possibility of him being in danger, he's like okay with that because he he just felt better. And he's older, and at the same time, he can't win back Ellie's trust. Remember, she hates him in this game, which is another thing I want to talk about. I didn't like that personality trait with her. I understand she was mad about the hospital thing, but she was a bitch to him.
Right. And you know, I think that he under like I think like maybe she made him feel like you cheated me. Like I could have done something in this world. Like now I'm just a no name, you know, people hate me because of whatever and I'm just another one of y'all peasants, but like no, I don't think she thinks like that. Maybe I'm taking that way too far. But the
I
whole
think she's mad that she didn't have the choice, and she would rather die and save everyone so they don't have to suffer anymore instead of
and
her
and she
living with
feels
knowing that.
and she feels insanely guilty inside because she watches these people be infected day to day and she knows like she could have potentially been the one that saved everybody, you know what I mean? So she has to keep that
Yep.
bottled up. And then
That's
for
what fueled her hate too, though. That was good character development for her.
I agree, I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
So
she's so bad. She killed. I think she was worse than Abby. If you think about it, she killed a pregnant woman. So basically, that baby's left for dead. She killed Owen. She killed a lot of people. And on the way, she tortured that black hospital maid lady or nurse lady, Nora.
yeah,
Fucking fucking made her talk via pipe beatdown, dude.
Bio Finish, you know, he says, but guys, Neil Drunkman is a creep. I don't know nothing about Neil Drunkman. I'm gonna be real. Like I've watched videos after I've played the game because I kept all that shit away from me. I don't.
I
All
try
right.
to separate the art from the artist, dude. You know how many movies I like where people that were involved making it are fuck bags. You know what I mean?
I mean, potentially. I mean, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess you could argue like fucking Weinstein and all that shit too, if that's what you're
Yeah.
getting at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People in the industry, you know, there's a lot of shady people. Look at, I love the '70s show. I like that character Hyde. That guy raped chicks, dude. He got straight caught. He's in trouble. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean I'm not going to stop watching reruns of that show. You know what I mean?
He said, "I know, I'm just messing," but yeah, he does seem like a weirdo. I mean, again, you know, here's the thing, like,
Yeah, he seems very pretentious and
but if you if
very blue pilled.
but if you're going to me personally, like if you're going to play a game like, oh, this person is a part of making this game, like, or this person is a part of making this movie, I guess there's an argument to be had in there. But like, if it's a good movie or it's a good game or it's whatever, like, I'm not condoning rape or anything like that. I want to be very fucking clear. But if someone's just like, hey, you know, I believe in feminism or I am a leftist, whatever, rightist, whatever, like that's not going to influence my production of your product. You know that you know if that makes sense at all.
No, I mean, besides Ellie being a lesbian and her being comfortable with her new girl, but she's not even a new girl. They've been friends for years in that compound. It shows you read notes and shit, and they have discussions about shit they've done for years. People are complaining like their relationship seems so forced. Like, no, they just
Well,
finally opened up to each other.
well, the thing is, like, here's the thing. All right, when you want to call something like, for example, woke or there's an agenda because it has a gay person in it. I feel like they really have to, and I feel like I have a certain eye for the way that those things can do, right? And I feel like in The Last of Us 2, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I feel like the gayness or whatever, like Ellie was already set as a lesbian. So if anybody is just a gay character in any movie or any game or any media, as that going forward, is it just woke automatically? Because there wasn't really anything pushed by it. She was
No,
just a lesbian chick. Like she was established as that way early before The Last of Us 2 was even released.
it's a cop out for people to use as an excuse to hate the game because they're really mad that their hero Joel's dead. Let's get real.
And I mean,
That's what pissed people off. If Joel didn't die in this game, it would have gotten less hate. Straight up.
yeah. Well,
I don't play Last of Us for Joel. I play Last of Us for a survival horror zombie game. You know what I mean? Another person's Resident Evil. You know,
right,
with a different
exactly.
spin on it.
All right, so all right. I like The Last of Us 1. Let's go ahead and get that done. I don't care what
And that
anybody
has a gay
says.
character too. There's also Bill. Remember, he had a gay porno mag with dudes. Ellie's like, "Oh my god, there's dudes in here all naked." That was Bill's magazine. No one said anything about that. Just
So
pointing that out there.
I like The Last of Us 1. It wasn't like, everybody's like, oh, this game was just overhyped bullshit. Okay, I thought it was a very good story. For me, being a father to a daughter, like it hit a little bit different. Joel lost his daughter. He's trying to he finds this like other daughter and this other lady, this other girl, Ellie. It just and then he basically damning all of humanity. You can call it selfish, what have you, but he fell in love with this girl, treated it as his own daughter. But The Last of Us 2 even explores that as well, because like the doctor was like, what if this was your daughter? Would you do the same thing? Like he couldn't even justify saying like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't or would do that. I don't know if maybe you can correct me, but I feel like he was like very taken back by if the prospect was what it was it his daughter who had the thing in her brain, would he do the same thing? You know what I mean? So, as it was my daughter and I could save all of humanity, I'm sorry, but like I feel like I would be selfish. I would be selfish. I would protect my
Well,
daughter.
right. First, in your personal life, what's the point of saving humanity if you don't trust or even love anybody on this earth when it's already torn and society's already gone, far gone? There's cannibal people, there's cult people. Just because you found a cure, you think they're going to change their own faction's rules? No, they'll probably still kill your ass. So
Right.
it doesn't fucking matter. The cure was like 10, 20 years too late. I also theorized about that. That cure had to be like quick within the outbreak, like that year, something had to be done. Not 10 years later when everyone's already used to the new ways of anarchy.
Yeah. I don't know. That the first story hit a little bit home for me. That's why I think I
Oh yeah,
enjoyed it most.
the pacing's better for the first one. It's perfectly paced.
Yeah. And like, the morality of saving the world versus someone that you're deeply, I wouldn't say in love with, because I feel like you love someone and in love with is two different statements, but someone that like you
Someone
love.
you have love for. Yeah.
That's a deep morality. People can like, oh, it's not that deep. I feel that it's kind of deep, and being a father to two daughters like that,
And
that
plus,
hits home.
I feel like he feels he owes it back to her. Remember, she saved his life and patched his wounds up in the snow
Yes, that's absolutely true because he fell on that shit and he got
and
sick
the
and she had to
rebar.
go out and find the fucking penicillin. So yeah, absolutely. Like
And it's
they
funny,
found
people are complaining about shit not being realistic or the writing's bad. Like, let's get real. That shit is bad writing too in the first one if you want to get realistic. No 14-year-old's going to pull a 40-something-year-old man that weighs 3 times as her out of rebar in the snow and know how to do like survival tactics, like sewing wounds. Like, get the hell out of here.
yeah. But all right,
Well,
so go ahead.
and I was also going to say, remember, fellas, it's a game. This isn't an Oscar award-winning movie. Let's get that out there too. I like good stories in games, but if a story's just mid or a little crap, that shouldn't have to matter as long as the gameplay is great. I love Neo, but that story is boo boo. I skip most of all the fucking cutscenes.
So moving on to back to where we were at, The Last of Us 2. Okay, so Story goes on. Joel dies. You know, very very clear. Everybody knows this. So Ellie wants to tell of revenge. She goes after this chick. I'll tell you another big gripe of mine. You can tell me how you think about it because I'm eager to know your thoughts because we haven't talked about this. How did you feel? You know, when Ellie was finally confronted with Abby, like, and she was terrified and threw the gun and her hands were shaking, like. You understand, like, you killed so many people to get here. You ruined so many people's lives that you had no idea who was what to seek out a certain objective. And now that you're here, you're scared. Like, maybe I'm reaching too far, but I feel like that was kind of ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't even come up with a theory on that one. Are you talking about at the theater when she sees
Yes,
Abby? She
yes,
has the gun and Abby doesn't.
yes, yes, yes.
Didn't she
Well, no,
have
both of
Tommy
them had a
though?
gun. She busted in with a gun pointed at Abby.
Uh,
Abby had the gun pointed at
yeah.
her, but then she shot Jesse in the face and they had the gun pointed at Tommy. So I guess, like, you could argue, like, she doesn't want to lose Tommy because Tommy also means a lot to her.
Well, she didn't want to lose Dina either. She was close to Dina. She's probably scared about losing Dina and the baby because then she'd have nobody.
True, that's true. That's true.
And she was just shook up. Remember, she's not even 19 years old. She's like 18 or something. She's pretty young.
Yeah.
So it's like 4 years since the last game. She's like, yeah, she's still a teenager. Whereas I think Abby's older. Is Abby the same age? I don't think so.
No,
No,
no.
no.
Abby. It would never tell what her age was, but if I had to guess, she had to be like
Okay,
in her late 20s.
no, no, she ain't late 20s because when she first went to the hospital to see her dad, she was younger. She looked like she was around Ellie's current age. So she
Right.
was like 18 when she found her dad, 17, 18. So I would theorize she's about 22. She's
Yeah.
early 20s.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Yeah, they had to be either Abby was a little bit older or they're around the same age. That's what I would. That's what I would. That's what I would gather.
But after playing the game and after how Ellie just treated Joel repeatedly, just like shooing him away, it kind of pissed me off. And with just her actions, like she's been through hell. She killed that cannibal dude, right? When she was 14, or did Joel kill him? Or did she kill him? I forgot from the first one.
Well, the thing is, because she finally found out the reason why Joel rescued her from that hospital, and he.
Right.
So she treats him as he was being selfish for her love, and that he basically ruined her dynasty or her her that's not the right word, but she ruined her legacy, or that's probably not the right word either, but she ruined her destiny of being
Yeah.
able to save everybody. So like now she feels guilted as hell. So like she's angry not only with him, but she's angry with herself, not knowing that like she could have potentially saved everybody.
Right. Yeah, she does definitely have her reasonings for those feelings. I don't know, man. It kind of turned me off after I played more of Abby and saw her side of the story. I kind of felt more on Abby's side. I was like, if you see where she's coming from, they were doing the right thing trying to cure humanity. And this crazy dude comes and just slaughters everybody at the
Right.
Fireflies hospital, kills
Right.
her dad, and she's devastated. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so she got hers back. And who did she take out? She tried to take out Tommy, beat the hell out of Dina. She did kill Jesse. So yeah, I mean they both have a pretty bad kill count, but I think Ellie was a little more fucked up for killing the pregnant lady. So she essentially killed a child. If you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, but at the same time, she didn't know she was pregnant until after she killed her. She didn't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, that shook her. You could tell.
Yeah.
But
So
man, the levels. I think I like the levels better with Abby, dude. Like you learn the lore of the more of the WLF and the Seraphites. I find them interesting. I got Resident Evil 4 vibes, like a cult village vibe, going
right.
to their compound and shit.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Especially with them whistling at each other. Like you don't even know. Do they see you or are they talking to each other?
And that even
Like,
talks like more about the AI's intelligence because like they do this little whistling thing back and forth just to make sure they're all in the same area. So like if you take out a bunch of people silently and they're not getting the whistle back, they get more on higher alert, which is really brilliant, honestly, if you think about it.
I know. Luckily, with this game on the new Game Plus, you don't have to start every chapter. You could pick your levels if you just want to enjoy certain set pieces all over again and crank up the difficulty. That's really appreciated. That's good game design.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll go back to it, man. I feel like, it's kind of like a movie for me. Like I wanted to
Yeah,
experience it. And people are like, oh, this I've seen the argument this should have just been a movie. There is a lot of heavy cutscene moments, but I will argue the fact that like what I'm watching on screen, the back and forth, the acting, the dialogue, some of it can't be cringe. But you know me, I find myself always like really, looking into like how actors go back and forth and their facial expressions and how their gestures are and if it's believable or not. But this, like when you watch this acting in the back and forth, like it is insanely like this is happening. Like there was not a moment that I can actually recall where I was thinking, this is just bullshit. This doesn't seem right. This is just acting. Like I'm an actor acting. It seems so fucking believable.
yeah, it's genuine. It's yeah, it's good. It's got great delivery. You could argue that the writing isn't on point or the pacing, but the delivery of the emotions, the facial expressions is on point.
That's the way I feel about it. I feel like the acting was, I mean, yeah, I had a couple gripes with the story, but I feel like no matter, even if I didn't enjoy the story thus far or whatever, like the acting was like it was top notch. And if they were doing like with the actors with the green suit and all that shit with the back and forth with the facial shit, like they did a damn good fucking job.
Do you think they decided to say, "Hey, this isn't worth it because we went all this way and lost everything"? Abby lost so much. She lost someone she could have been in love with, lost her best friend Manny. Ellie lost everything. Dina left her. Do you think they did that on purpose to leave an opening for a third game?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I
Um,
kind of want the third game that's be between the two, but you start out as Abby and Lev on their adventure for the Fireflies, but then I think it should also delve into Ellie wanting to find someone that can maybe do the cure thing, and then she'll sacrifice herself. I feel like that would be the payoff.
well, the way I look at it is, all right, so Abby goes into this underground place and she finds that there are fireflies out there. Whether either of them are a doctor like her father was, does it really even matter if there are fireflies out there? Because the point was he was the leader of the fireflies, but he was a surgeon, a doctor in vaccines and what have you. So, like, even if they find the fireflies again, they're just a group of people. Is there really someone in this group? Like, does every firefly be a surgeon? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But I do think that they kind. There's a part of me that really thinks, and you can call me on this, but there's a part of me that thinks they wanted to end this right here, right there at the end where she kills Abby and lets her go. And they literally they let that happen because they wanted to set up a third game. There's a part of me that thinks that.
I think that too. Do I think it's the next game or two? No, the next game's going to brew a while. It could be the tail end of PS5. I think it will come. Dude, the numbers don't lie, dude. This game is selling so well. I mean, even with the bad PR, any PR is good PR. It's crazy, dude. Even someone I talked to, I was like, "Are you getting the game?" I just got it. He's like, "Now wait for price drop." He was playing it 2 days later. I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to play it." So it's like, and he's a casual. He's not in the gaming though.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know what? Men lie, women lie, numbers can't. This game is the most selling PlayStation 4 game to date, even years after its launch, and God knows when it was. I'm not accurate on that, but there's a reason for that. I feel like there's a reason for that, and I do want to say that I feel like there is good PR, there's bad PR. All PR matters. Like there's a black life, white life matters, all lives matter. All PR matters. It really does. Whether it's good, it's bad. It's cooked up a lot of controversy where people were fucking interested, whether they wanted to be or not. I mean,
definitely.
do you think I'm alone on that?
No, that's very true.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, overall, like in my opinion, dude, like I fully hearted a lot of elements about this game. All right, I think we need to talk about one topic next, but just overall, story wise, it made me just, it wasn't bad. It was like it didn't satisfy me. It's like, and I know how that sounds like, it's a story, it's a sequel, like you watch the
Well, yeah, there
Avengers
wasn't that.
Infinity
Yeah,
Game.
there wasn't a payoff. If she would have just killed Abby at the ocean at the end, that would have been okay. She got her revenge. The tale is done. But there's a reason for that, dude. Most trilogies, the part two of any trilogy is usually the very dark part of the books or the movies. When I look at Empire Strikes Back, that's a dark Star Wars
I mean,
movie.
you could look at like Infinity War, the same thing, like Endgame. Like, Infinity War was ended really dark, like, but there was a really great payoff at the end. But it set up like this dire moment where you have to know this kind of just left, I think, and me personally, like, you know, I went on this journey, but the thing is, like, during that journey in Infinity War, it's like, I don't know how I can put this. It made me feel like, all right, let's talk about Infinity War first. Like, it was setting up something. Like, to me, this set up revenge with no payoff. This set up, Infinity War set up payoff, but with an acceptable understanding that there's going to be more to come. I don't know how to put it into words. But the
I,
last
I
of us,
think
like,
they're both driven by their madness and they were just too tired. Abby was damn near dying to death on that stake.
yep,
Ellie was just fucking just torn and just like they are women. You know what I mean? They're emotionally different than men. They were probably just over it by the time they're just fighting. They're just like, just go. And she got her fingers bitten off. So
and she can't even
when
play the
she
guitar right anymore.
yeah, she
There's
lost
there
everything. Dina left. She has no family. The house has been everything. All the valuables gone. No food. Nothing
there's a
except the
part of
room
me
with her
that thinks
stuff.
like her getting her fingers bit off and the guitar have a lot in reference to one another because that's what like had her connection to Joel. So like now she's lost her connection to Joel because she can't even play the guitar right. Even at the end, and here's another thing: the game really pushes this guitar segment. Okay, it makes you put the thumbstick in the way of the guitar and strum it. And at the end, the notes are off. The notes are definitely off. So she can't even sing the same song she's been singing throughout the game. She's lost that connection in that part. And you think that's too deep, or am I thinking crazy?
It's deep, but dude, if you're a boss like me on the fucking guitar, you play it like bass and two string it. Like
I
I've
don't
done
play
my work
guitar or
enough.
bass, but
I've
fair
done it.
assessment.
Trust me. I've injured my I've injured multiple fingers where I can only use like my first or middle. There, you could do power chords if you have long enough fingers, and or you can play one string at a time. You can do it on bass. She should be a bass player.
Fair, yeah, yeah, fair enough.
Boom, 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 boom,
But
boom. You
there's
only
a
need
part
one or
like in
two
the end where
fingers.
like she's going to end Abby, and then that image of Joel on the porch with the guitar. That's what stopped it
So
all. That's what stopped it
she,
all.
so she's in the heat of the moment. Got her fingers bitten off. It was so intense. She saw that they were starving to death, looking like Holocaust victims, and
Mm-hmm.
she just maybe had sympathy or just said it's not worth it. Let's just go. Maybe she's like, I'm going to go home, back to my peaceful life, and she did, and there's nothing. So I was thinking, if they make a third one, what if she's just so consumed by emptiness that she just full fledged becomes the villain, and then Abby's straight up
Oh
good guy?
wow! Oh man, people aren't going to be happy about. You know what? I hear that, and to me personally,
It'll
that
still
sounds good.
sell.
Right? Hold on. Just hear me out. That right there, that sounds amazing to me. But it won't sit well with other people. It won't sit well.
This one didn't sit well. It's selling fucking like bigger than the first one. Like
Right, true. I feel you, but you also hear my point, right? Like I feel like that is actually a really good point. Like Ellie becomes the bad guy.
I
Ellie,
like games with twists and bad endings. I don't know why everybody wants the fairy tale knight in shining armor prevails. Like how many times are we gonna do this?
right? No, that's good. I see. This is why we need to talk about shit like that. That's a really good twist. I like that. I like that. I didn't think about it
This
that
is
way, but I like that.
Yeah, and it could take place like 5, 6 years later, where she's older, she's mid 20s. Maybe she works out and gets yoked and fucking gets some weird
Yeah.
cyborg arm. Like, just get crazy with it. I don't
She
know.
gets that jack surgery. Yeah. No, that's cool though. I mean, I mean, to me, it sounds like really fucking interesting. Some Bio says some endings are pretty awesome though, and make you think. Here's the thing, like this could make you think. You know, is it wrong for me to want a satisfying ending? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm not thinking long term. You know, I'm thinking short term. Like, I bought this game, I want to play it, I want it to be great, I want it to have a great ending, and like maybe that's not exactly what it's intended for. It's to
No,
sell something else.
I think this game's intended to like really think and reflect, or even do a second playthrough to catch things you didn't notice. I think it was designed that way.
Oh, Bio said
Be-
the best bad ending in the movie was the mist. Oh my god, don't bring that shit up. Motherfucker kills his own child just to find out everything's fine 5 minutes after. That's the worst fucking ending ever, dude.
oh, I
That
would have shot myself.
Yeah, I would feel so bad, bro. That like I love the mist. That is some deep shit right there.
That was one of my favorite horror movie endings. That was brilliant. That movie had balls to do that.
Yeah, dude, that fucked me up. I'm like, dude, now you gotta live with yourself. Oh nah, dude. Yeah, I'd put a. I'd blow my noodles all over the wall, bro. Fuck that shit. I couldn't live myself after that.
What was your favorite area to explore, or not explore in general, levels, like level design?
All right, so I did say that I didn't like Abby's whole thing, but the Scar whole thing, like, it kind of was cool. Like, you're going to this like crazy cold, but the thing that just it was over like it was probably great. But here's the thing that bugged me the most was these are the people that you have been sworn to understand, like you hate, and all of a sudden because you three were in just this certain predicament, you're all cool now. Yeah, they saved you. You saved them.
I think she felt bad, kind of like how Joel in the first game. I think she shares a lot of like characteristics of Joel. Like Joel didn't want anything to do with this kid, this girl. He just wanted to do the mission, escort her, drop her off, whatever. This These two kids save her, and I think she felt bad, like she's going to leave, and she's like, "No, I want to help out." I think that's what happened.
That's a good
Maybe.
damn. That's a really good damn point because someone that he helped her survive. They're doing the same thing to them. Are they as bad as what Joe was? Maybe she doesn't know them on a deep personal level, their backstory, who they are, what brought them to this situation. Yeah, that's a really good fucking point. That's a really good fucking point. I like that.
I will say, they could have trimmed the fat, maybe added, but people have been mad and said that's a goal to make DLC. But like the whole repairing Yara's arm and getting the medical shit, and then going to the village of the Seraphites, that all felt like DLC straight up.
Well, the thing is, like, you know,
I appreciate it being in there though, because you learn lore about them.
well, same way you say unsatisfying, the ending where you just walk away, but you also went through a lot of trouble for this person just for them to die anyway. So, like, I'm like, I really like the moments where those things were happening because I thought they were really good. Those were, like, some of my favorite parts of the game. But it's like, then why did we even do this? Why were we even here? What was the fucking point? Like, yeah, it aids your conscience, whatever. But like, it's almost like a slap in your face. You know, the best way I can put it is like you go and you fucking go do this, that, and the third just to find out like it doesn't even matter in the fucking end anyway. So you just it was nonsense. I don't know. It didn't fit right when you find out that or you see her die right in front of your eyes and you went on all this shit just to save her. Like that didn't fit and sit right with me.
Well, right. Well, that wouldn't have had to happen, but the stupid kid just took off on the boat, and then she had to go back and do another mission. Like you already did the shit to get the medical supplies.
Right.
Then you had to go rescue the boy. Like that was dumb.
But I will say, like, end of the day, like you asked me, like what my favorite part was, at the hospital, hands down. Like it was all Resident Evil, all like it. I loved it.
Oh yeah, that was Resident Evil 4 shit, straight up.
I loved that. That's probably that's my most memorable gameplay part. Now let's jump off the story shit. Let's talk about some fucking gameplay, all right? Gameplay, end of the day. Gameplay is fucking amazing. I repeat, I am not a stealth guy. I used to be. I've lost my patience somewhere in there. But this game does stealth so fucking well, where you actually have the option. You can go, guns blazing. You can go stealth. But when you don't do it stealth, to me, it doesn't personally sit right. If like that, the game intends and suggests and incentivizes you to do stealth.
Yeah, you feel like Lady Rambo in this game, straight up, with the
Yep.
crossbow or bow and arrows, hiding in the grass, a shotgun to the leg, stab them in the head, run and hide again. And people are, what's that? Throw a Molotov cocktail. Like, there's so much things and combos you could do, almost like stealth arcadey.
I love it.
Hucking a brick, hucking a brick at someone's face and running up and stabbing them. That's the only reason I like Ellie's gameplay. I think people are saying Abby was the OP character. I beg to differ. I think Ellie is because she's got unlimited clicker kills. You could just stealth on anything and kill them with a knife. With Abby, you need resources to make those shifts.
Yeah, but I kind of enjoyed using those. Maybe again because the difficulty I
They're
played
quicker.
on. Well, they are quicker, but it also you could stealth anything other than the clickers and the higher profile zombies.
Yeah.
But it gave me a reason to use my resources. But again, I played on normal, you played on hard, so maybe your justification is a little bit better because I was overwhelmed with fucking resources. So when I actually got to use those resources, like building the
If you
shields,
put
like
on,
go ahead.
if you put on Survivor, it's very limited. Like you'll kill 5 guys and you're lucky to get a single bullet. It's that deep, and they're stronger and they will find you. Like it's hardcore. Luckily, if you want to do another playthrough, there's individual settings. You can have the characters be advanced, hard, smart as fuck AI, but resources you could choose how much you want. Easy mode resources where it's plentiful, or medium where it's kinda. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think keeping it on hard is just the right amount. You get just the right amount. There's a few times where I had a little bit too much, but just enough to get by. I put it on medium, and then it was just plentiful everywhere. So it's pretty crazy how you could just change shit like that. It's very accessible.
But overall, the gameplay was fucking fantastic. It was really fucking good. Like from the skill trees that you have to like pick up, these little manuals, from the fucking leveling up your weapons. Like you actually go to the table, like it actually shows her like cleaning out the gun using a wrench to add this attachment. It wasn't like I'm just at a skill tree or I'm at this weapon place. All of a sudden my weapon's just better. It shows the resources around this table. It shows them like actually building the gun. That meant a lot to me. That they actually showed the reason why your weapon is better now. I really liked that. That was brilliant in my opinion.
It's like EA, you should jump on this train and make a Dead Space reboot or part 4.
Yeah, I like that shit. I thought it was great. So I will say that go ahead.
My problem with the skill tree, my only gripe, I don't like it how mandatory makes you choose the next skill of a skill you don't want. I don't care about advancing my detective mode.
Right.
I only use it if I have to. I like going about solo without supernatural skills. As a matter of fact, I want to see if I can turn it off or make it like damn near useless because it adds tension.
The cool thing I think about the skill tree thing is that you can play this game a different way every time because you can't level up everything. You have to make a decision on what you want and what works best for you. So you can play this again the second time and play a completely different play style because it does not allow you to level up everything. You're not in that place. You have to pick what you're like, hey, you know what? And it makes a really good unified decision on what you think works best for your play style. That's what I appreciated about it as well. Do you think that
For sure.
Did you felt the same way?
Oh, with versatile gameplay, or it changes your play style.
Like the leveling up of your skill trees and shit like that. Like you can't level up everything. You have to be selective.
Oh no, you have to do the second playthrough. But if I do that, I should just put resources on mad easy, so I get all those pill boxes just racked up, so I can just buff everything. Because I'd like to play. If they patch in grounded, where you don't get detective mode, like it's completely shut off, that would be pretty dope. But the way the game's designed, you kind of need it, though. There's a lot of enemies, bloaters, one-hit kill clickers that are hiding in places you can't see at all.
Yeah.
the first game, when you put on Survivor or higher, you don't get that detective mode at all. Like it's gone. So I was hoping they'd do something about that, or just make it where I'm not sure if you can even turn it off. But it changes the game. I don't know if you ever played the first one, Survivor, but it is true survival horror. The tension is unreal. It's actually like way scarier.
Actually, no,
Because
no, no. I never played the first one. I played the first one again. It was one of those one and dones for me.
oh, okay.
I did go back and revisit it with the remaster just to see how it looked. Like I think I got about 40% through it, and I'm like, I already know what's going to happen. I wasn't, it's kind of a one and done type of game for
I
me.
wish you could skip the flashbacks though, man, because they really drag going through them. It's like, they're
If you're doing a
very
speed
slow.
run or if you played it for a second time, you should have that option. But I don't feel you should have that option your first playthrough because
Oh no, absolutely not.
yeah, because you can say what you want, like, oh, this should just be a movie. You're watching too much. You're not using your controller. I can hear that argument time and time again. But those make you understand the plot more. They make you understand why you're doing what you're doing more. They make you emphasize on the gameplay more. Like it means something to the plot, in my opinion, anyway.
Oh yeah, it gets you immersed.
Yeah, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Absolutely, immersed.
It's just funny. I see certain individuals scoff at this game, but love Red Dead Redemption. A very slow paced game, a lot of padding.
Well,
Um, even major missions, you got to ride on your horse, and those horse travel sessions are like 5 minutes. And in a game where you're on a horse for 5 minutes, that's a long time. Like literally going miles upward a map.
no, and our buddy, the retro bro, he was like, and there's certain games that we all like, that we don't like, that we played, that I haven't played, or I haven't played, and you've played. That's the beauty about it. Like we all like our own different thing. And the retro bro said he really likes Horizon Zero Dawn. Now I attempted that game. He kind of like made the argument like, hey, Horizon Zero Dawn, got a lot of things that you argued, which is in The Last of Us, that it has a lot of cutscenes and what have you. The only thing for me is that when it comes to like The Last of Us, like that's a universe I'm already invested in. That's something I already know the story of. You're asking me to jump into this game new. I don't know nothing about the characters. I don't know nothing about these people. It'd be different if I was already invested in these people and I want to know about what their plight is, what their story is, what happens. There's a big difference there in my opinion.
Was Horizon Zero Dawn a pacing issue for you to not get
It
invested?
really wasn't. I want to say that I was enjoying it. I believe the beginning part of the game does do a lot of stealth-ish type stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, I'm not. I understand it gets more action as it goes. There was a lot of wheel of discussion. Like I'm going to choose my response to this person, like a BioWare game. And that's what turned me off. But it could have also been like something came out at that time when I was playing it, because I didn't play it when it came out. I played it way after it came out. It could have been like something that was just distracting me from the game, something that came out that I wanted to play, and that's why I dropped it. But I just dropped it. I didn't come back to it. But the thing is, like, I myself, I enjoy all types of games: story games, story-driven games, gameplay games, first-person shooters, third-person shooters, RPGs, JRPGs. Like I enjoy it all. Like the thing is, like I feel like this is just a really another good addition to another game genre, and it is a lot like the Uncharted games, which the movie and the gameplay is intertwined and blended very well.
I was gonna say, I think too, Uncharted conditioned people to want that hero face, your typical white male leads hero. They felt like Joel was like the Drake of the zombie world of Naughty Dog,
That's
and
true.
they were attached to him.
That's true.
So they're not used to seeing that. That's like playing a game where Nathan Drake's dead, like within 2 hours. Like that wouldn't sit well in Uncharted. So I
But
think
here's the thing: we
that
have an
could be another
Uncharted
thing.
game with a lady, like Legacy, like
Lost Legacy is fantastic.
yeah,
I
it's
bought
a
it for
great
10
game. Like,
bucks.
but nobody's arguing because it's a female lead. It's because it's a good game. It doesn't hype up anything other than else. It's just a good game with a good story. And when you start trying to bring, sexuality and race into something like that, like, if it's there and it's prevalent, then yeah, call it out. But if it isn't, and it's just because it's not what you wanted, then I don't think that's a fair argument, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially if the game's not teaching you like subliminal messages or life lessons, like the bigotry sandwich thing. If she went in deep detail how it's wrong and you shouldn't hate on this and being sexual is freedom, like if it went to a preachy shit, then yeah, that's totally woke pandering shit.
Let's be real for a second. Let's talk about this, because I don't know if it's very well explained. So this game isn't woke at all. Eric, if it was anything, it's the opposite of that. This game is the most bloodiest, goriest fucking game that I think that I've played that I can fucking think of in the last 10 years. Period. When it hypes, when it goes on to like the gay stuff, like they make jokes about it. Like they're like, "Oh, I like bigot sandwiches. I don't give a fuck how they taste." Like that's not woke. The guy literally takes the sandwiches out of her hands. Where
she's like, "Oh, bigot sandwiches. Here, you want it?" He's like, sounds delicious. And he has a smile.
That's not woke. If that was woke, people are like, "Oh no, you're a race." If it's anything, it's the other way around. People are upset that it's not woke enough. That's what I think. But yeah, he straight up makes a joke about gay people. Like, it's funny. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about if you're gay or not. He wants a ham and cheese sandwich.
You know what? I will say, of all the deaths in that game, I knew it was coming to Joel, dude. It was his time. He killed a lot of people, the wrong people from the past. Some people we don't know before he met Ellie, before part one.
Before that,
I knew his time was up. Yeah, Jesse dying kind of fucked me up. I wanted Jesse to prevail or go on. I liked him. He was a good new character.
Yeah, and he was like, you know what? It's funny, like, he was like straight to the point. He was all about, what's right, what's wrong. He didn't even care that his ex-girlfriend was now dating Ellie. Like,
yeah, he was chill about it. Yeah, he probably just wanted a triangle. Like, oh, just freeway it up. But he probably had plans for that.
But like, if this game was woke, it would have been like, oh no, I'm supposed to be dating the woman. You're a woman. Women don't do that. If the game was woke, it would have done some shit like that. But it didn't. He was like, okay, fine. I guess, she's yours now. Who gives a fuck? Like, it didn't harp on that much. And again, my opinion is that is because Ellie, is a lesbian. This is not new. This is old fucking news. This is years ago. The thing is, they had to set that up. So if you never played The Last of Us 1 or the DLC, you understand that she is a lesbian. So they harped on it for like 5 minutes. All of a sudden,
it was that first showing. It was because of the showing at E3. They felt like they did it for shock value, and they rode with it. They were just showing off the graphics engine. That was very high tech at the time of 2017.
Bro, but like,
when they first showed it.
Let's be real. Like, they didn't harp on the lesbian thing more than the 5 minutes. The only other part that I can think of that was brought up is when they have sex, her and her new girlfriend. Okay, she's a lesbian.
Oh, when they're stuck in the weed room?
Right, but here's the thing. Like, if it's a man and a woman, nobody cares. That's just her, like, she likes women, they have a sex scene. If it was a man and a woman having a sex scene, no one would give a fuck. I thought it was done as equally as a man and a woman who, like Nathan Drake and his girlfriend doing thing like that would be the same thing. Like, who cares?
And I appreciate him keeping their nice, tight bodies in tone. You know what I mean? They weren't like tattooed up, purple-haired, half mohawk chicks with fucking pig bellies, bag sacks.
Like, oh, the women don't like women, and the men they don't look like men. Well, anyway, I don't know about the men part, but the women. This is a zombie apocalypse. Like, what do you want to put on, like, eyeliner? Do you want to put on, like, blush? Like, what do you want? Like, look, you put on any woman without makeup, that's what they look like. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. I hate to break you off your fucking Twitch stream where you're watching Alinity and Pokemon or whatever you watch. That's what girls look like. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, But anyway, you want to elaborate on that, or am I crazy?
No, you're pretty spot on.
But I mean, women look like women, Most of them all wear makeup on a daily basis. Oh, I'm sorry.
I do, even though Abby trained every day of her life and was determined, I get it. I still found it, I wish they just would have had a couple of yoked Brock Lesnar looking fools in the WLF, maybe even a chick that looked like China, just so she blended in better. She looked like she was straight up a Gears of War skin put into a Naughty Dog game. It kind of looked out of place. I got used to it, but I was like, huh? Like, I wasn't even bothered because she was buff. I was like, it's just kind of weird. She's the only one. Like, she's She-Hulk, and everyone else are, like, just skinny people.
Well,
like, was there an obese person in Last of Us? I don't think so. Everybody's starving and conserving food.
Right. Yeah. Not that I can think of. But like she was like clearly very skinny, very feminine. And then after her dad died, like she's like, no, I want to be able, if this moment ever comes in my life again, to be able to do something about it. Because she did try to do something about it, and she was weak. She was thrown aside. Right? She walked in
Yeah.
as Joel was killing her father and took her out. Right? So she's now like, I mean, I think that's a great fucking plot device or whatever for someone wanting to be trained, who never wants to give up weightlifting, who wants to be prepared for every moment. Like I feel like that's, and then just say like, oh, it's man. Like no, like that makes sense in my fucking head.
It's just because they read the leak footage and then just rolled with it. They watched too much, like a lot of the video or a lot of the YouTube videos, like what, like 2 months ago, hating on the game, like the quartering, like, oh, this is why you shouldn't buy this game. It outraged like the anti SJW culture,
Yeah.
which I'm not about SJW shit, but the people that are hardcore anti SJW and find reasons to hate on SJW shit, any little reason, those guys are annoying just as well.
Yeah.
Almost part of the same coin, just on the opposite spectrum.
Bio Phoenix said, riding your horse in Red Dead 1 was annoying enough for me. I can't imagine doing that in 2. I can't speak to that. I didn't play that one.
Oh, you're missing out. Red Dead is Rockstar's best IP since San Andreas, in my opinion. I don't really care for GTA 4 or 5. Like, I get it, but even when I play 5, I just don't care. I don't really like anybody. It looks nice, but that's a whole other discussion. Rockstar needs to, like, update their physics engine. Their games be clunky and feel dated.
Bio said, LOL, The Sims be pissed.
Shit,
know.
the Simpsons be simping.
Yeah, word.
Hiring all their actors because, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Cancel the Simpsons. We don't want 30 years of it.
I saw something funny where it was like they're not going to have black actors or Indian actors play black or Indian actors, but like you're not going to have white actors play people that are yellow. The Simpsons are yellow; they're not white. So we should have Asian people play. Look, I already know I'm going to cancel for saying that, but like the Simpsons are yellow; they're cartoons.
They're supposed to be ethnically white. They just make them yellow skin.
I get it, but it's
retarded. Like really, we're gonna politicize cartoons.
Yeah, but anyway, The Last of Us 2. In a nutshell, man, I spoken 30 minutes about this in a prior video. I'm going to go ahead and state my piece about it, and I'll let you state your piece about it, and we'll call it a night. Overall,
what would you rate the first game overall and the second game if you had like a rating scale of 1 to 10?
All right, 1 to 10. The first one,
you could do story and gameplay. Like have two different.
Well, the thing is, if you're rating something, I feel like you got to rate it in everything story.
Okay.
You know, you can't pick and choose which one you want to rate. It's encompassed in that entire package, in my opinion. The first one, I think that I would definitely give it a 9. The first one, I'd say I give it a 9. I will. It spoke to me. It meant something to me. I liked the gameplay. Overall, when the credits rolled on that, I enjoyed thoroughly my time. I was pleased. I felt good about that game. I felt good when I walked away from it. I feel like I'll leave it at that. I give it a 9. Last of Us 2. I kind of want to say I give it like an 8. If I have to do the point system, I give it an 8.8. 8.8. All right. Turning over as Abby really threw me off. Taking over a new character in the middle of the game who was the villain really displeased me while it happened. But as it progressed, I really liked her story parts. I didn't love her as a character, but it made me start to like her more. The ending, I felt like was a huge slap in the face, but I understand that it's starting to set up something different. I'm starting to accept that. So if I have to give it a rating, 8.7, 8.8, because at the end of the day, regardless how I feel about that, the gameplay is goddamn fucking fire.
Yeah, I agree. The first one's about a 9. Can't deny that. If I've rated separately for gameplay, the gameplay's 8, but story and overall, yeah, it's a 9. So I'll leave it at that. The second game, the gameplay is like fucking. If the story was on point, better than the first game, then this game would be a 9.5. But because of the story having pacing issues and with that ending, as it stands for now, it's an 8.5 for me. Until that's for now. It'll be subject to change if that third game comes out and bridges the whole trilogy as one complete trilogy package where it makes more sense with flashbacks and more backlore story. If the third game does that, then I'll raise it back to a 9.
Well, here's the thing. Didn't the first one not have multiplayer and they threw it in later on? Do you think
No, it launched with it had multiplayer at
Oh,
launch.
okay. Because I know the first one has multiplayer.
I don't count multiplayer for a rating. That's just a bonus.
Right, yeah, I feel you. But I was starting to, I don't know, in my head I was thinking the first one didn't launch with it. Maybe the second one will come out with it later on. Maybe that could change things. But
I think they're waiting for a PS5 to launch it, and then they'll try to crossplay it PS4. I think it'll come this November. That's my theory.
again, so, the game is it's not it's all it cracked up to be. It's not the best thing you're ever gonna see in your life. How people trying to put it out there. It's 10 out of 10. Those things are, I think,
No, that's too high. That's
but
too high.
it's a
Because
damn
ending,
good. Go ahead.
if the ending was great or was an ultimate payoff, then yeah, it would have been a 9.5. But I brought it down a whole point because of the ending. They missed the mark. But like I said, I feel like this is not the end. Like if it bridges to a third game, then I'll bring it back up. But we'll see that in time.
I have one good question I have one good question before I go into my conclusion. But actually, I'll go into my conclusion and we'll talk about that because this ends this and starts something new. All right, end of the day. All right, I don't think the story is terrible. It has really good fucking parts. I mean, I think that it's the acting.
The journey, as you go, the whole journey is great. Even when you're having slow moments, you still are immersed. You never put the controller down unless you had shit to do. That's a fact. It's very addictive. That's a shitty thing because the majority of the story is good, but when you hit the bad, it's bad. But it's mainly the ending. It's like you had this epic journey, then you get to the end, you're like, huh? That's it? But you gotta read in between the lines. There's some hidden shit or something, and it shows Joel that guitar and her the guitar, like something. I don't know. I gotta watch some theory videos and shit.
Yeah. So, just in conclusion, I think the gameplay is fucking fire. It really is. It incentivized me as a person who doesn't like stealth gameplay to be stealth. And it doesn't reward you for that, really, other than you lose things as not doing stealth gameplay. Main resources, ammo, what have you. But it made you feel, I don't know if you saw my comment, I'm fucking with this guy who's being stupid. Anyway.
No, it's not showing shit on your chat. It's pissing me off. Let me open up this tab again.
Nah, it was some guy from Twitch, whatever. But nah, it was. I enjoyed it. All right, the story. I thought, look, it's not the best thing in the world. I enjoyed it. Gameplay is fucking fire. The ending, I felt it was a slap in the face. But they're doing the whatever it is to set up a third game because at the end of the day, what matters is money. This is the best selling fucking game. I feel like it had bad PR. People rode with that, not even giving it the time of day. But you're going to have good PR, bad PR, no matter. But at the end of the day, it made way more money than any game you could probably fucking think off the top of your head. Am I down for a third one? I think that's the question that I want to end this off with. Are you down for a third one?
Oh, absolutely. I want more of this. If they could add more to it, if they could make it where you could climb walls and shit, maybe a little bit more to hide, that'd be awesome. They make it where you could change clothes, like in your backpack. Like make it more like, I'm like making it sound like Metal Gear Solid 3, ain't I? Change your camouflage outfit.
But PS5, okay, they bring this shit out. Gameplay is similar with some new added mechanics I'm down for, but where would you want to see the story go?
We didn't bring up California. That was very short end of the game. That area was beautiful, and I felt right at home. I've seen many hoods and neighborhoods.
I was going to say, because I know why you would say that. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, because I live in California, but
Right, yeah.
that's more of the SoCal by the ocean. I'm way up by the mountains, but I've seen those areas, and there are plenty of palm trees where I'm at, so I can relate. And playing it right in summer, going there in the summer, it's like, man, I feel like I'm in my own neck of the woods. I would love the next game to take place in California by the coast, by the ocean. That'd be badass. Maybe some deserts, you know what I mean? Maybe, hey, we got to go to Nevada or Arizona. There's like a huge Firefly compound over there. I'd like to see more factions too.
Yeah.
Make it maybe some Road Warrior shit. Like, hey, we got a journey across the desert to get to Nevada, and you go to like a condemned Vegas with broken down casinos with zombies and shit, and crazy ass motherfuckers and like vehicles ruling the desert. It sounds over the top, but why not?
All right, gameplay. I think you focus a little bit on gameplay. Where do you see the story going? What do you think about the story?
Oh, like I said, I think the third story. This game was obviously about the half and half. It was revenge turned into redemption for both of them. I feel. The third one, I think, is going to be about hope and humanity again to make it full circle like the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Love, hope, and humanity. So whether Ellie wants to really find a way, get in contact with new doctors, because the world is big, dude. Like, there's got to be a doctor somewhere, and she could search for that and maybe try to help out and make a cure with her body, sacrifice herself. That'd be cool. I'd like to maybe see a journey with Lev and Abby. I don't know, man. You can go anywhere because they're both alive, so we don't know what can happen.
This is all right. So this is what I think. I think Abby is off to find the Fireflies. Clearly, right? That's how it ended, right? That's where she's. That's
Yeah,
what she wants. Ellie let Abby go. She came home, realized that it wasn't. It wasn't done. Regardless if she was there, she felt like maybe she was weak and it wasn't a satisfying way to kill her because in the condition that she was in, that she still wants to fight her at like full power, like Dragon Ball Z shit. I don't fucking know. But the way I'm putting it is I think the third one's going to end as they both somehow, all through gameplay, all through some random story, they're all going to end up at the same place where Ellie will fulfill her destiny of killing herself and sacrificing her life for the good of humanity. I think that's what it'll do. And like before she does, it'll be Joel right back again on that porch, smiling like this is what I should have done in the get go. I don't know. I feel like that's what it's gonna be. That's my opinion.
yeah, yeah. We're on the same page on that. I think it's going to be about saving humanity, being a martyr, a savior, a hero.
Yeah.
Maybe she turns evil at first. Maybe she's a fucking thug and rules Jackson or something, or gets shady, but then turns good or something. Who knows? It's hard to tell who's. That's another question. That's what I like about this game. Who really is the good guy? Are they all bad guys? They kind of are. I don't think
Ellie's
anybody's
not
good.
a good person by any fucking means. She ruined so many people's lives, slit their fucking throat. Did to get to this point, people she didn't know who had a family, who maybe had a child. Yeah, she's not a good person by
And
any
Maria
means.
knew this, and Maria would arguably be like the most good person in the game. Has she ever killed anybody in one or two? No, Tommy and everyone else did. She wanted Ellie to stay home and be a good girl. She told her many times, "No, you can't go out," but she knew that she wouldn't listen. So she was warned. If you go out and do this, you're no longer innocent.
Yeah, but no, yeah, she all right. By any definition, the way you want to put it is Abby or Ellie a good person? They're both terrible fucking people. They've killed so many fucking people. They destroyed so many fucking lives. And you can think, oh, it's a video game. You just walk up and you slit somebody's throat or put them in a chokehold and break their neck. You don't.
Right?
The thing is, like, you don't know what these people's backstory was. This individual person that you killed, this individual person that you killed. You're both terrible fucking people. You're both disgusting, right? In the context of the story, you know, I'm not saying what I would do when I was in that predicament, but they're both villains, honestly. And Abby almost made you see a point of Ellie's story of she's not such a fucking good person and saint as it is. Because there's a part of me, like when I got to Abby fighting Ellie, I'm like, what a fucking bitch. Like I kind of want to fuck her up because now I like Abby a little bit. You know what I mean? There's a little duality in there, and I feel like it built up for that. And I thought it was good. But anyway,
For sure.
yeah. But hey, man, we're at that mark, man. Hey, man, dude, this is fucking fantastic conversation, man. I feel like anybody who has something negative to say or blah blah who's turning blind hate, I would hope they would sit here and watch this and hear the conversations. That it's not to turn a blind hate towards. There is some good in here. There, not some good. It's mostly good. There's some
Just at least give it a try if it's price drop.
right.
You know how Sony be doing their sales, doing Black Friday this holiday. If you see that $20 player price, it's worth the admission.
Right. And
If
I
you don't want
mean,
to give the full money.
look, if you didn't like the first one, this one isn't going to sell it on you. If you think the first one's
Oh
overhyped,
no,
if you think the first one is too much or you think it is bullshit, this isn't going to do it for you. But if you slightly enjoyed the first one, okay, for what if and odd reason, whether it be the gameplay, whether it be the story, whether it be whatever it is, this one's definitely worth a look. And I'm not telling you to go out and buy it right now. Look, man, everybody's got their priorities set in place. As a pandemic, there's a lot of protests, what have you. People are not working. But look, if you can play this game at a reasonable price that fits your budget, and you enjoyed the first one and or the DLC, don't believe the hate train, please. It's not that fucking bad. It's really
yeah.
it's good.
Be your own critic, man. Don't follow the herd of the internet. The internet's toxic. I mean, I'm a multi-console owner. You know what I mean? Yeah, I crap on Nintendo and Xbox a lot, but I talk about getting the new Mario Origami game. I'm not just like, oh, Sony all day, Nintendo's gay.
Right. And I'm the same way, dude. Consoles, PC, whatever, all have their perks, all have their disadvantages. I play everything for their perks. That's I'm a gamer at heart. I don't care what's good, what's bad, what's ugly. I play games, and I play games, But anyway. But anyway, man, this has been fucking great, man. I had a great fucking time discussing this shit with you, man. This is fucking fantastic, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was a good discussion. Hopefully, it came out good audio wise, and we didn't talk over each other too much.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, man. Everybody who stopped by Phoenix, some crazy guy on Twitch talking about his monitor or whatever. Born Distract stopped by. But you guys, man, thanks for coming through. I really appreciate anybody else who was stopping by but maybe didn't chime in. You guys have a great fucking night, and I appreciate it, man. Any final words before we kill it?
No, and for all the haters that don't want it, we're not here to change your mind. If you don't want to give it a try, look on the bright side. You got Ghost of Tsushima in weeks away, and that looks like a total bro game with no wokeness at all.
Word.
There wasn't gay ninjas.
Word. All right, man. We're out of here. Thanks for stopping by, gentlemen, ladies, whoever may be. Y'all have a great night. Thank you.